Can you hear me?
Yes, Swamiji, now I can hear in between.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Swamiji, now I can hear you.
So we can go on?
Yes, Swamiji, please.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yeah.
In this session, friends, we are going to take a look at Sādhanās in Bhagavad Geetā. As all of us know, Bhagavad Geetā is a very popular work, a great scripture, a wonderful piece of Sanskrit literature, and by its own merit, this Geetā has gone to nooks and corners of the world. Geetā has been translated by lots of people in practically all the languages of the world. With so much of popularity, however, people sometimes wonder what Geetā is advising us to do. Geetā offers noble thoughts, uplifting ideas, that is fine, but how are we to change our life? How are we to do a few things, probably, which are advised by Bhagavad Geetā? This webinar attempts pointing out some of the spiritual practices that the Geetā teaches us, and these are the ones that most people can relate to, can understand, can appreciate. It is true to say that Bhagavad Gita is a bouquet of many flowers, of many colors, of many fragrances. However, it is also to be kept in mind that Bhagavad Gita is not so much a divergent piece of advice. It's not that Gita sends different people in different directions and makes them all reach different destinations. On the contrary, the well-known goal of all Vedanta, self-realization, awakening to our true nature, is the one goal of Bhagavad Gita also. Now, to begin with, various values that the Bhagavad Gita teaches are right away a sadhana that Gita is advising all of us to take up. Even things like speak truth, do not hurt others, maintain cleanliness, be humble, respect elders, respect teachers, and so on. Or an advice like, be very careful when lust, greed, or destructive anger arises in you. Be on guard about kama, krodha, and lobha is such advice which helps us become true sadhaks. Now, in special ways, the Gita presents before us the celebrated yogas. Karma yoga. Gita asks us to again and again stop wasting our energy in brooding over what life has given us or is giving us or will give us, which is phala sakti. The Gita rather asks us to pay more attention day after day to what we can give to others, to life, to our surroundings. Karmani eva adhikaraste. Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, your right is to do your duty to the best of your ability. Leave the fruits thereof to me. I will ensure that you will get the best fruits, the best results, if not immediately, in due course of time. Trust the law of karma is the message of the Geetā. Therefore, in our day-to-day life, all of us, let us say, pay more attention to what we do, what we say, or even what we think, and ensure that our thoughts, words, and deeds are noble, are good, bring benefit to people around us. That is Karma Yoga, and that is one of the sadhanas. I must add quickly that Karma Yoga could be in the form of worshipping the Lord, doing puja without hankering after personal gains. Rather, worship Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, or in any other form with more and more of natural love, basic love, love for love's own sake. So Karma Yoga is, whether it is Vaidika Karma or Laukika Karma, religious activities or activities in the world, in all of them or in either of those camps, when our attention is upon giving our best and we don't make a fuss about what we get in return, that becomes a sadhana. The entire Gita has number of shlokas spread all over the chapters, pointing to another celebrated sadhana, bhakti yoga, devotion. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru, says Sri Krishna. Fix your mind in me, make your intellect understand and appreciate my greatness. Do things for me, do things so that I am pleased with what you do, and thus surrender to me. Mayeva mana adatsva, mayi buddhim niveshaya. Or for that matter, towards the concluding portion of his great teachings, in the 66th verse of chapter 18, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Surrender to me, Arjuna. And through Arjuna, he is telling all of us, surrender to me, giving up number of other concerns. We must hasten to add that giving up other concerns is not to become irresponsible, not to take part in things of the world. Rather, it is the sense of priority. In fact, we do things better than ever before, but in our heart, we are primarily devoted to God. We do a piece of work, for example, that comes to us to the best of our ability, but we must have the thought in our heart or in our mind that I'm doing it to the best of my ability so that the Lord is pleased with me. So, Bhakti Yoga is very much a sadhana. Now, you may wonder, I am presenting so many sadhanas, and you may ask, all right, but which one is Bhagavad Gita asking us to do, leaving others aside? The Sanatana Dharma, called these days Hinduism, is uncompromising in its position that different people are made differently. So many sadhanas, bhakti or karma, yoga or jnana, and many other combinations are presented not for a single person to do all of them. At a given point of time, a single person has to choose one of these many yogas. A super mall may have many varieties of soaps or many varieties of toothpaste, many kinds of hair oil. You and I go to the departmental store or the mall, the super mall, and the fact that there are many varieties available should not confound us or baffle us. On the contrary, we are delighted to see that there are so many kinds of the particular item that we wanted, and we choose one of them. Hair oil, I take, let us say, coconut oil, I like it. Soap, I take one of the varieties. Sandalwood, Mysore sandalwood soap. I'm just giving an example, not advertising for any of them. So be done with it. You choose what suits you the best, and your own brother, son of your own mother, your own sister may find another sadhana more suitable to her, to him, and respect that also. Now comes Raja Yoga or Patanjala Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. You know, sage Patanjali taught the 8 limbs of yoga: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. And Bhagavad Gita drops hints at this Ashtanga Yoga also. Take for example, chapter 4, where Sri Krishna uses a word, Yoga Yajnaha. Dravya Yajnas, Tapo Yajna, Yoga Yajnas, Tatapare, Swadhyaya Jnana Yajnascha, Yatayaha Samshita Vrataha, Evam Bahuvidha Yajnaha, Vitata Brahmano Mukhe. He says the Vedas have supplied very many kinds of spiritual practices, and all of them are most valuable. You must choose what agrees with your personality. The word Yoga Yajna there refers to yoga, that is asana, pranayama, and other limbs of the Patanjali Yoga. It refers to that yoga as a yajna. Yajna here is used in a very general sense. Any spiritual practice where our lower tendencies, or for that matter our ego, is offered into the fire of a certain spiritual practice, where this ego reduces, where our likes and dislikes reduce thanks to that spiritual practice, then that spiritual practice becomes yajna. Therefore, you do pranayama, it is also a yajna. Swami Chinmayananji went around giving lectures on Bhagavad Gita, and he called the lecture series Geetā Jnana Yajna. So yajna is to be understood in a larger sense. Specifically, Bhagavad Gita talks about pranayama. Apane juhvati pranam, chapter 4 again. Prane apanam tathapare. Pranapana gati ruddhva. Pranayama parayana. So pranayama also is considered a form of yajna, which means a form of spiritual practice. Now you may ask, what about jnana yajna? Spread over the chapters or to be found in every chapter, we have shlokas which point out our true nature. Najayate mriyate va kadachit. In second chapter itself, you and I have a dimension of our existence which does not die, which is never born, which survives the body. Na hanyate anyamane sharire. When the body is injured or even killed, there is a dimension of our existence which is not affected at all. In chapter 13, Sri Krishna describes this spiritual core of our being in glowing terms. He calls this the Atma, and the Atma is the witness of all that is going on. Kshetrajna is the word introduced by Sri Krishna in chapter 13. This Kshetrajna, this principle of the pure self is, he puts in very poetic terms, it is the light of all lights. It is beyond all darkness. Jyotisham api tad jyotihi tamasa paramuchyate gnanam jneyam gnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. present in everybody's heart. There is this truth, which is the light of all lights, which is beyond darkness, and which is what deserves to be known. The most deserving to be known is this principle of the pure self. Someone like Sri Ramana Maharshi especially emphasized the erasure of the ego. Erasure of the ego is the hallmark of wisdom, jnana yoga. All through the Geetā, Sri Krishna says that this sense of I am the doer, I did well with regard to something and feeling proud about it, or oh my, I fared so poorly, I didn't do well, and to sink in regrets or despair are both signs of ignorance. Ahankara is false. In the 18th chapter, there is a powerful shloka where Lord Krishna says, if someone were to be free from egoism, he can be doing anything. He can even kill thousands of people and no sin will touch him. This is not a sanction for killing, but a very powerful way of expressing how, when there is no ego, one goes beyond merit and sin, punya and papa. Yasya naham krito bhavo, buddhir yasya na lipyate, hatvapi sa iman lokan, na hanti, na nibadhyate. In chapter 18. Therefore, to contemplate upon our true nature, which is of the form of awareness, pure consciousness, not this body, not even senses or the mind, is Jnana Yoga. Geetā provides a lot of material, matter for this contemplation. Indirectly, Geetā supports the celebrated Who am I inquiry. Geetā is rightly called the echo of the Upanishadic wisdom. Sarvopanishado gavo dugdam Geetāmritam mahat. If all the Upanishads are to be looked at as cows, Bhagavad Gita is like the milk that we draw from these cows. Many mantras of Upanishads get reflected in Bhagavad Gita with a little change, a couple of words are changed. Kathopanishad would say, Urdhva Mulaha Avakshakaha Yeshaha Ashwattaha Sanatana. Bhagavad Gita in chapter 15 has slightly different expression. Urdhva Moolam Adashakam Ashwattam Prahuravyayam. So, Upanishads and Gita go parallelly, they do not contradict each other in any way. Apart from Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, or just general values, umpteen other sadhanas are presented, and once more, don't say this is too confusing for me, rather look at yourself and do a little trial and error and enjoy the freedom to choose one of them or two of them, a combination of several of them. Make your own collection or selection. It's like a wonderful university giving a lot of freedom to a student. You don't even have to stick to science alone or arts alone. Study physics and chemistry, and along with them, you have the freedom to select to study a bit of Kalidasa, a bit of Bhasa or Bharavi, a bit of Shakespeare or Wordsworth. Why not? Make a combination of history and astrophysics. Modern universities give you a lot of freedom. Likewise, Bhagavad Gita says, I am giving you 200 sadhanas. You take 4 of them, 5 of them, and among them again, you take one of them more intensely. Please do not bother about so many being said there. No one is asking you to embrace and adopt all of them. In chapter 8, Sri Krishna talks about Omkara Upasana. Omite ekaksharam vyaharan mamanuttamam, and so on. There is this monosyllable, Om. Reflect on it, recite it, fix your mind upon it. And if someone, even during the time of dying, holds on to Om, Sri Krishna says, such a person will go to high regions spiritually speaking. Om is advised. Somewhere else, Lord Krishna would say, Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam. He upholds and praises silence, not just silence of keeping the mouth shut, but an inner silence where, thanks to your wisdom, thanks to your maturity, you don't get carried away by any thought or any idea, any emotion that rises in you. You rather look at them and stay quiet so that those ideas or thoughts, emotions or feelings die away on their own. On your part, you are just watching them. Such mauna is the best of all secrets, Lord Sri Krishna would say. When students asked Sri Ramana Maharshi, give us the one shloka which represents all the wisdom, he gave them one, the 20th verse of the 10th chapter. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayastita Aham Adischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. This shloka lends itself to multiple interpretations, but one of them could be Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayastita Aham Adischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end. I am the pure self in all living beings. I am in their heart. So this I, the Advaita Vedanta's interpretation is the pure I, not the Jiva Bhava's I am a man or I am old, I am young. No, the pure I. The pure I is the truth. And I am good or I am bad. I am holy or I am vulgar. I am sick or I am so fit. 100 or 1,000 such ideas rise and fall upon the pure I. And Sri Krishna seems to point to that pure I. Maharshi Ramana, as you know, all along talked about the subsiding of the limited I, making way for the emergence, the shining forth of the pure I. Ahami nashabhaji ahamahantaya spurati hritsvayam paramapurna sat. The 20th verse of Upadeshasara summarizes Maharshi's teachings in a unique way. When the little I, with which you and I are generally very identified, dies, when the little I dies, another I, which is Parama Purna Sat, which is full, which is complete, which is real, shines forth. It shines. And it's like when the clouds go away, the sun in the sky shines forth. Nothing extra needs to be done. Let the clouds move, and you have the sun shining at you upon the whole earth. Likewise, you and I need to make a combination of healthy practices. All these are not just for talking, these are for living. Bhagavad Gita is for living. Alas, the vast majority of people use the Bhagavad Gita for talking about it, writing about it, or listening to somebody and then forget about it, and so on. The reason is most people on the earth do not have adequate vairagya, enough of detachment, even though they hear or even speak on the Gita. pretty soon they spend 100 times more energy on pursuing some pleasure, some acquisition of wealth, or becoming somebody, trying to become famous, whatever. Therefore, lack of vairagya. And Lord Krishna touches upon vairagya. He says that this mind can be managed better if we grow in vairagya. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grhyate. One simple way for you and me to develop vairagya is to practice nama japa. Yajnanam japa yajnosmi, says Sri Krishna in the 10th chapter. Among all the yajnas, japa is a repetition of a mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. For example, one repeats. People say, oh, I am an intellectual. This japa is not for me. Well, be careful. You may think you are an intellectual and therefore you don't need some of these repetitive practices. But you are an intellectual here and there, but on lot of occasions you also fall a prey. You are a victim of base tendencies in you. Therefore, if you sit down and with love and devotion repeat a mantra, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, for 30 minutes without stop, then right away, as attachment, thought of money, thought of some pleasure, thought of going somewhere, enjoying, thought of becoming famous, these thoughts arise, but you bring your mind back to Sri Ram, Jai Ram, those thoughts become weakened. I don't say they will go away, but you are giving a gift to yourself of being in control, having certain restraint upon the thought flow. I agree that is not everything, but it is a major milestone. Then you will find the intellectual side of yours is able to penetrate better, as well as it can yield better results. Otherwise, there are many Vedantins. For a couple of hours in a day, they are wonderful, thinking or talking about high Vedanta. For a couple of other hours in the same day, they are no different than some animals which are just driven by instincts, pleasure instinct, the power instinct, the violent instinct. Some anger hijacks them. So Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi is a statement by Sri Krishna. In this way, friends, in Bhagavad Gita, read them, read the shlokas just with a simple translation. If you know Sanskrit, just original are enough. You will find your mind becomes aware of many things that can be done. Otherwise, what a pity. You have all these in your heritage, but you spend day after day without having a sense of direction. No japa, no puja, no seva, no study, no contemplation, no yoga, no pranayama. The day is over. What did I do today? At night, you look back and see that all you did was reading newspapers, watching television, discussing politics, and doing some work that came to you half-heartedly, etc. What a shame. Take a couple of sadhanas from the Geetā and lovingly and without any jealousy, without any idea of, hey, I am a sadhaka, others are nowhere. No, don't judge others. Others are good in their own ways. You do this, you will find that you will have a greater sense of self-worth. Be gentle upon yourself. Be strict, but be gentle also, in the sense, If you miss japa one day, don't start saying to yourself, I am a sinner, I did not do japa. You did not do japa, that is sad, no doubt, but don't use a big word like I am a sinner and so on. That's what I mean by be gentle, but be firm and be more alert. After all, everything finally comes out from alertness. No wonder Swami Chinmayananji said, alert and vigilant living is the true sadhana, is real sadhana, he said. So here I pause this short presentation on various sadhanas in the Bhagavad Gita. Please feel free to make a comment or ask a question on what we have so far touched upon. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. So let's see whether somebody has raised the hand. There are quite a few people in this seminar from different parts of the world, and I am sure I have cleared some doubts and introduced new doubts. I have perhaps answered 5 questions and raised 6 new questions in your minds. Okay, there is Babita ji asking or making a comment by text. So Babita ji says, how do you make yourself more stable in our sadhana? Very difficult question. All of us do fail. We slip and fall again and again. But you know, Eknath Ishwaryan used to say, small victories lead to big victories. So, never mind however much you may have slipped. Take small decisions, short decisions. For example, someone decided before going to bed, before hitting the bed, I will do 5 minutes of Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 5 minutes. And if you do it, many a time it so happens you don't feel like stopping at 5 minutes. You may as well do a little more. In the same way, you have not done any physical exercise, yoga or walking, etc. Tomorrow, no matter how early or late you get up, go for a short walk around your house. But I'm getting late for work. Go for 11 minutes of walk. Many a time there too, once you get going, you will feel like doing more and you will manage reaching your office in time, etc. Therefore, my simple answer to Babita ji is start small, grow big. Small victories lead to big victories. Don't try to do too many things at one go. Identify 2 or 3 sadhanas and ensure that you do for a short period of time. Put your heart, whatever little you do with your heart, then you will find a certain gathering of energy takes place. A.R. Ganti has this to say, Swami Chinmayananda said, keep your mind where your hands are for attentiveness. Yes, I quoted in my lecture Swami Chinmayananji saying, alert and vigilant living is sadhana in its true sense. So A.R. Ganti has supplied a statement which also complements what I said. Keeping our mind where our hands are. Like we are washing dishes or we are doing some gardening, we must ensure that our mind is in that job. That's true. Then we have Sudhamani Prasad asking us, can you elaborate on how without ego we can kill anyone? So, as I already said in my lecture, the idea of a man without ego doesn't incur sin, even if he kills hundreds of people. It's a manner of saying it's not about literally killing people, but at the same time, if you say why that expression is used, it's symbolic of any action. So, how do we kill without ego? In fact, to be without ego is the fragrance of the highest wisdom. When there is the highest wisdom, which the ego cannot accompany, the ego then is out. Now, because of certain circumstances, we may kill, we may hurt somebody, but we have no intention, we have no pleasure in killing or hurting. The situations may be such that someone suffers at our hands. The sloka says, when we are without ego, we do not incur sin. But once more, I hasten to add, it is more a special language. What is meant is not about killing, it is about day-to-day activities, whatever they are, not affecting us. What do we mean by affecting us? They don't leave behind a residue, regret, pride, self-justification, and some kind of evaluation where tomorrow we want to do something better and that robs our sleep at night. All that is residue. All that is some baggage that we carry. So when there is no ego, whether it's killing or writing a letter, whether it's watching a movie or playing a game of cricket, no matter what, all actions we do with attentiveness. When the actions are over, our bosom is free from pride or shame or regret or guilt, etc. You have a peaceful, silent, calm within. Sachin Dev Chavan says, Dear Swamiji, thank you very much for knowledgeable presentation. Is there a specific technique Lord Krishna has mentioned on how to control the mind, how to focus the mind on a task at hand? All sadhanas are meant to focus on one's mind, but is there a direct statement advice? Please study carefully chapter 6, which is called Atma Sanyama Yoga, which is about mind control, which is about meditation. Sri Krishna gives simple instructions there, simple practice. Every time the mind runs away, with patience, bring it back. And it is towards the end of the chapter 6 only that Arjuna says, all this is very difficult. The mind is like a storm. To control the mind is it's like holding back a tempest or a tornado or a hurricane. Next to impossible. And Sri Krishna says, I do agree, it's extremely difficult, but by practice and by examining life, which leads to Vairagya. The word he uses is Vairagya, but Vairagya comes about by examining life. Here and there, when something happens to others or to us, if we pause even for a few minutes and ask ourselves, what do we learn from here? What is it that we learn from this? And a certain understanding dawns upon us. Stay there in that understanding for a while. That is meant by Vairagya. Vairagya is not about deciding, tomorrow onward I'm going to be detached from my wife. If somebody decides, that won't take him far. In fact, it may lead to some other complications. He may become very artificial in his behavior. Whereas if he closely examines his excessive attachment, let us say, to his wife, his excessive reactions or his excessive emotionalism, and sees that, well, I love my wife, but that doesn't mean that I take things to heart, I take everything so much personally and so on. So he distinguishes love and undue reactions. So noticing the undue reactions, noticing the excessive reactions Understanding excessive reactions as excessive, the man is slowly coming out of that kind of reaction. That is when Vairagya comes about. There is one more question, I don't know by whom, but it says, oh right, it is by Babita again, I think. How do you make yourself more stable in our sadhana? Oh, that we answered already. There are lots of text questions. Mahesh Rao says, in the recent issue of AUPA, you shared your personal journey with Dr. Sid Gautam, and that was very illuminating to see the journey and your own reflections. Thank you so much for that. Since you were with Swami Chinmayanandaji, could you share his personal sadhana taken up daily? Okay. His own personal sadhana, I don't have much idea. But you are giving me an idea. Maybe I can present a webinar sharing my interactions with Swami Chinmayanandaji. But his own personal sadhana, he rarely talked about himself. He once in a while paid tributes to Swami Tapovanam or Swami Shivananda, with whom he spent time, and he praised them. But his own sadhana, I'm afraid, he hardly mentioned. Or one thing you could do is study his book, My Trek Through Uttarakhand. There is a book, My Trek Through Uttarakhand. There are some of his personal submissions. Anyway, I'll think about it again. K.R. Ganti has another question. Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi refers to the pure I. Yeah, pure I, right? Oh yes, in Aham Brahmasmi, Aham refers to the pure I, not the conditioned I. Yeah. Rita Singh has a question. What tip to remain in Samadukka Sukha? How do you withdraw the mind from fanciful thoughts? Thoughts. That you replace it with any other thought? If so, what is that? Oh, that is another question by Sanjeev Singh. Okay, Ritaji's question is, how do you remain in Samadukka Sukha? So as I said in a answer before, our Sukha and our Dukkha are a little of genuine happiness or sorrow and quite a bit of just mechanical reactions. Therefore, we must practice some of the spiritual sadhanas, maybe Nama Japa, maybe yoga, maybe pranayama, whatever. And when we have a certain energy and certain gatheredness, we must notice how we do what I would like to call a little drama with everything. For a little of actual sukha, mechanically we go overboard. In the same way, a little of discomfort or pain that makes us really suffer, we react too much. Let me give you a quick example. I put my foot on a banana skin and fall, I slip, and my leg pains, and I have dukkha. But suppose I notice that some people watched me. And these days, where all of them have mobiles, somebody even did a video of my falling. And I go berserk. Who is that who did my video? Oh my God, if he puts it in WhatsApp circles and everybody sees it. Now, this is what we add. That is where, the real sorrow is the pain in the leg. Maybe my clothes got a little dirty, but psychological reactions need to be examined. And if we become aware and if we see that I need not really worry so much. If you put it on WhatsApp circle, without paying, I become very well known now in the circles. Everybody will know. So we take it in a sportive way. Dukkha and Sukha have to be seen through. My summary answer is, see that movement of thought which constitutes suffering or constitutes enjoyment. And you will find a good chunk of that suffering or enjoyment is mere psychological, not anchored in facts, not rooted in actuality. It's as we say, we spice it up, we spice up everything. Therefore, do some of your sadhanas to gather energy. You see, if you do a puja for 20 minutes very attentively, you gather some energy. Then when somebody says something, you have certain poise to look at your own reaction. Therefore, I am connecting certain daily practices with how you meet with situations. Now, Sanjeev Singh's question is, how do you withdraw from fanciful thoughts? You have to develop your own techniques. Some of us may replace it with some good thoughts. Some of us may just go for a short walk. Some of us may, open Vishnu Sahasranama and recite. So we need to devise some method by which fanciful thoughts are not encouraged. I am fond of the idiom, don't pour fuel into the fire. Fire is burning, and if you pour oil, it will burn more. So when fanciful thoughts come, we need to discourage them, look at them dispassionately, not look at them with some excitement, aha, this is very nice, and so on. So it is the adding fuel to fire that lends strength to fanciful thoughts. Not easy, I agree. That's where Sri Krishna says, abhyasena. Some good habits, some good practices provide you the energy to do this. Otherwise, we have got up late. On top of it, we drank 2 cups of coffee. Along with that, up early morning with empty stomach, we ate some banana chips, let's say. Then our energy to deal with fanciful thoughts will be even less. In contrast, we got up a bit earlier than otherwise, and after brushing our teeth, we did some yoga, some dhyana. Then the ability to handle fanciful thoughts at some other time during the day will be much better, because it is like a ship that has been serviced, a car that has been serviced. A car that has been serviced recently goes upon some uneven road with greater grace than a car which has several troubles known to exist, and you take them on the uneven road, you are more likely to meet with accidents. Now, I didn't look at the list at all whether somebody raised, oh yeah, there are a few hands raised. Oh, we have Purna Rao. I request her to speak out her question. I'm not able to unmute. Why is it not unmuting? Immediately it goes mute again. Yes,
Can
Purna. Now it.
Yeah. Swamiji, namaste. Can you hear me, Swamiji?
Very well.
Okay, thank you, Swamiji. My question is, if we had to talk to a group of youngsters regarding sadhanas, which should we prioritize and tell the children to do?
First, give a quick view, one at a time, and see their reaction. You know, youngsters also have a lot of diversity in them. So, whether young or old, there are some who like Nama Japa, some who like serving friends, serving others, some who like some philosophical outlooks. So, take one at a time and share with them. Do you believe that saying Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram makes our mind calm? Some faces may light up, some faces may show no interest. And you take it up further. Or say, do you think that consciousness is the truth and the physical world is a mere illusion? This is Jnana Yoga question. So the youngsters may respond. Someone may give you a surprise. You may say that, yeah, now that science has found everything to be just energy, well, it comes closer to the Vedantic view. So if there is a good response, engage them. So you got to have several recipes ready in your, like a grandmother with several recipes and the material for them ready in her kitchen, and grandchildren are visiting. You say, anybody likes to have some upma? And the children make a face at you, and everywhere we are getting upma. We would like to have some rava idli is possible. So you have the material for that, let us say, and say, yes, I get you rava idli. Like that, spirituality, has varieties of things, and youngsters are not alike. Youngsters, even 10-year-old boys and girls will have so much of variety. So we
That's
need
true.
to, check and
Thank you,
thank you.
Swamiji.
Let me go. Welcome, welcome. And Ranjan has a question. It's some time since Ranjan asked a question, I guess. Okay. Yes, Ranjan.
Yes, Swamiji, it was very good. Thank you. It was very interesting. I just have a quick question about this. Recently, I came across, recently I found out that the three systems, Dvaita, Advaita, and Vishishtadvaita, the three systems of Vedanta, right? They're all based on Upanishad, it seems. And right, and then yeah. So can we? And then also they are found also in Geetā. So can you? Is it possible for you to let us know all these three systems, how they are reflected in the Geetā also? Some different verses.
Yeah, there are some verses which have a strong flavor of Advaita. Like 13th chapter, Sri Krishna says, I am the illumining principle in everyone. So that has a strong Advaita flavor. And there are 100 verses where Sri Krishna says, I am the Lord. I make everybody do whatever they are doing. So that is in favor of Advaita. Then in chapter 15, Lord Krishna says, a part of me becomes the Jiva. Mamaivaamsho jivalo jiva bhutaha sanatana. That has a strong smell of Ramanuja's Vishishtadvaita, which says in Jiva is part and God is part. So all three philosophies are supported by Geetā. So it depends on what you take and what you take as secondary. We can have a webinar on that. I wish to admit that my knowledge of Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita is rather limited.
Thank you, Swamiji. It was good. We could have another webinar, you said, about this.
Correct. So I think also there is some echo going on. Yes, more or less. Over. So thank you all, and you all take up some sadhana of the Geetā and get going. Hari Om.
Pranam Swamiji.